Yeah,
Yeah.
right on, man. It's awesome.
Alrighty. I'll get the intro going here. Um,
Right on.
hey guys, this is the Beer League Beauties podcast. We got Andy on here for the 24th episode, the first NHLer, the Beer League Beauties. Today's episode is sponsored by Gladiator Energy. Andy, it's a pleasure to have you on here, man.
Yeah, it's pleasure to be here. I don't know. I guess now I'm technically a beer league beauty, so I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
fit right in.
Hey, we all end up there, you know.
100%, man. 100%.
Um, so you are the owner of Vibero Hockey, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Brand's been around since 2008, and done a lot of great things. Paid into the NHL for 3 seasons. I acquired the brand in December of 2019, and sort of rebirthed the brand, so to speak, really with an emphasis on all things custom. That's where we've really differentiated ourselves, and then really offering top quality gear at much more affordable pricing. And then on the custom side, really putting a lot into the service side of the business, caring for our customer base, caring for our brand partners, in a way that's a lot more partnership oriented. That is our basic DNA.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that. A lot of people, they know about Michael Jordan, household name. But when you ask people about, Wayne Gretzky, some people have no clue. So how are you gonna make that like a household name? Like, how is Verbero Hockey gonna help with partnerships with guys in the NHL?
Well, ironically, our focus is not at the NHL level. The other brands have sort of a top-down marketing approach. One of our core differentiators, and if you think about it, I mean, the NHL or the American League or any of the more like the more notable, marketable leagues, that represents a very small percentage of hockey in general. I much rather focus on I say that that's the tip of the iceberg, and you know how much of the iceberg is below the surface of the water, and that's the way I equate, sort of the difference between where we focus and where the other brands focus. And I'd rather focus there. I mean, for me, the breadth of hockey is there. Those are pay to play. Those are beer league beauties. Those are people that love the game more than anyone else. They're more thankful for the ability to access, the items that NHL players wear. I mean, we build everything that is at an NHL caliber, but we offer it to every player. Male, female, young, old. We're a brand for everyone, and that's a big difference for us. The other brands can fight over the marketable leagues and the things that they think they need to do to grow their brand. But in the end, Verbero is deeply focused on our brand partnerships, whether that's teams or leagues or associations that we affiliate with, and then really like actually supporting those partnerships and really setting up the partnership in a way that is very mutually agreeable for a long-term setup. And we've done a great job of that, and it's been a big part of the reason why we've grown.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing, the jerseys that you guys have, like the fully custom jerseys. And I feel like it's kind of taken over, like you guys are taking over club hockey, which is crazy to see. Like so we at UK, I play for Kentucky. Ryan showed me those jerseys that you guys are making for us. They're awesome.
Yeah.
How'd
Yeah,
you
and
get?
that's it. It's Braden. Sorry, it's all about expressing yourself. And as you know, like custom is everywhere. You're gonna wear that UK polo or hoodie or jersey proudly for the rest of your life, because that's just the embodiment of partially who you are, right? It's your part of your identity, and that's the same for every team. And I'm fully aware of that, and we're fully aware of that. So for us, it's really about making hockey fun. Allowing the teams that we partner with or the associations we partner with the ability to customize themselves to stand out in a crowd. I think everybody's tired of you want two stripes or three stripes on your jersey type of thing. And we're pushing the envelope there, really, to open up a lot more opportunities for expression and for customization.
Um, so another question I got here is you guys are definitely taking over club hockey, but where do you see like these southern schools in the next 10 years? Where do you see hockey going?
Well, I mean, the way I see it is, we're all trying to get out of the game as much as we can, and whether that's experience or trying to earn a living, or it's for camaraderie or exercise, whatever it is, everybody's trying to get the most out of it. Being said, if I have a son and he's not going to try to play Division 1 NCAA, and wants to get a quality education and wants to continue to play hockey, have a great time, look great, feel great, have something he can be proud of. I'm telling him right away, like, let's go to school at a great school that has a great hockey program. Go and have a blast. Go to the parties, have fun, don't miss anything. And I'm probably telling him to go to some of these Southern schools. I mean, just quite frankly, I mean, you get the total experience. So you get great weather, you get, if you're a male player, beautiful women, like tons of fun parties. Like it's a pretty amazing place to be. Top quality education. You get to play for an incredible iconic schools. I mean, it doesn't really get any better, in my opinion. So I think that those opportunities are going to become even more attractive as time goes on, because I know what we're doing from a marketing side, and all the stuff we're doing at Verbero relative to customization and making our partners look great, feel great, play great, is enhancing the experience. So over time, that's going to become a more valuable commodity, and the schools by association in a lot of ways are going to start to attract better recruits, which means that their play is going to get better. So the overall play is going to get better. There's still quite a bit of disparity in club hockey. As you see some of the blowouts that happen. I mean, it's obscene. But those gaps are going to be narrowed as things continue to get more marketable and more accessible to people, and to great players. When I grew up in Canada, like, I didn't even know this was an option. Nobody ever told me this was even an option. I think everybody needs to know this is an option for you, and in a lot of regards, they take great care of imports. You're allowed to get in with a lower grade point average, for goodness sake, because they want to attract those athletes and those Canadian guys that don't know what to do after they play junior hockey. So there's a deep pool of recruits that are available to this, which and I think over time you're gonna see the caliber of this play continue to go up, and the disparity will be lessened, or things will be better divisionalized to make sure that you don't have 14-1 blowouts like that. That's not fun for anybody. 14-1, it's like that's not really hockey. That's like a football score or something.
Yeah, it is. So with your gear, we're starting to see like newer things like cut resistant socks from you guys, and the hockey stick, the Mercury V50. Can you tell us about that twig, and what you're doing to make it like a top line twig?
Yeah, so the stick that we rolled out, it's a Mercury V350, and the 350 is relative to the gram weight. It's plus or minus a couple grams, but it's a 350 gram weight stick. And the thing's a beast for us. It really is. I mean, it's one of the lightest sticks on the market. We offer it to club players if you buy custom with us at $159, which is unmatched. I mean, I'll put our stick up against the top tier equivalent from any of the other top brands any day of the week. We outlast them durability wise. I think it's got better balance. It's got better pop, better blade feel. There's an extra spine through the shaft for durability. We're not cutting any holes in the blade. It's a solid core blade. It's a beast. And then we're doing custom graphics on those sticks for our teams at very low minimums. So over the course of time, you're going to see a lot more teams and associations using our sticks. And again, it's a partnership focus, and it's really a reward for doing custom with us. It's the backbone of Verbero is our custom business, and really is, in a lot of regards, is our apparel, the on ice game wear, the bags and travel accessories, custom gloves, and then I would say it's sticks. Beyond that, sticks are the next piece. And if you're playing hockey, you're buying sticks anyways, or somebody's buying sticks, and you'd be remiss not to buy ours, because you're getting a lot more value for the dollar.
Yeah, what stuck out to me was you said there's more pop to the stick. So I've been using like Bauer and stuff, and the blade will just run out of pop within like a month. It's like, fuck. So what are you guys doing like with the technology to have more pop in the stick?
Well, it's just better construction. I mean, it's like anything, I think a lot of the other brands are mass producing things and they don't have the same responsibility in my mind to what should be required as a prerequisite of a stick. So durability is like one of the parameters that we operate under. So our construction is set up that way. Like I could remove that internal spine, which would save a lot of weight, for example. So we have 5 walls in the shaft instead of 4. So if you think about it, if I took that away, like obviously the stick would be lighter, but we'd be popping more sticks. So, I think there's a threshold for the weight too. We have a 335 gram that we're wear testing right now. It's equally durable, but in a lot of regards, like for me, it's almost too light. I can't feel the stick in space, and you need to be able to feel where that stick is in space relative to what you're doing. So there's a threshold there. So we're really focused on construction. We're focused on quality of materials. And then we're really focusing on our manufacturing process, not rushing the production process to make sure that the carbon fibers wrap properly. Because if things are rushed or you're using inferior materials, that's where you lead to that. That's what leads to that loss of pop and the stick that breaks too quickly.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about grabbing one for this season for
You
myself.
better grab one. You better talk to Ryan and get it figured out.
Oh
And
yeah.
you should be selling too. We have one of the most robust referral programs in the game. So, you know people from where you grew up, associations where you played. That's the other thing Verbero does differently. We reward very highly to the people that give referrals to us from a business standpoint. So for you and growing your platform and with your relationships, I mean, it's a natural addition. We've got many podcasts, including Missing Curfew, who are ambassadors of ours and affiliates who sell Verbero. And you'd be remiss not to have Verbero as part of your arsenal to monetize what you're doing for a living now. So I mean, you and then the furtherance of that is using the product. If you're out and about or talking about it, I mean, you should definitely be suited and booted.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Jumping on the
Right
trend.
on. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
The other brands are tired, man. They're tired out. It's the same shit, and they're just raking everybody over the coals. And they're all about their C level bonuses, and it's not really about your innovation. It's not about partnership support. It's not about technology. It's not about customization. I mean, they don't even want to deal with. They don't even want to. They've never been anywhere to be found in club hockey, as an example. So therefore, they do not value club hockey. If you think about it, right? That should say everything. There isn't a club hockey player that should use them. Why would you use them? They don't give you any love. Like, so why would you want to go with these other brands? I mean, we're here, we're at events, we're connecting, and that's why we're sweeping the nation in the club hockey world, because we're partnership focused. We're giving rewards back. We actually communicate and work with our team partners to make sure that you guys get the most out of your seasons. I mean, we're dropping three third jerseys with UK this year and doing jersey fundraisers to help promote the program. So I mean, this is just a small example of like some of the ways that we give back, in that jersey fundraiser program. I mean, we give back the delta, we give back the profit margin back to the programs. I mean, we put over $50,000 back in the Gamecocks back pocket last year. I mean, it's a game-changing experience and opportunity for the teams that we partner with.
Yeah, I definitely love what you're doing. I'm fired up to get to get the jerseys on, especially
Yeah,
the breast cancer one. My mom had
yeah,
breast cancer, so that'll be cool to wear that. You know,
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's great when it's all interconnected like that, and then you and everyone's had somebody that's been touched by cancer one way or another. It's like it's just another way to like help the team, pay tribute to people that need it. We often kick back a portion or all of it to a charity. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, but at the end of the day, the teams help us with sales. We set up a cohesive marketing structure for these campaigns, and we try to extract as much out of it as we can, whether it's going to a breast cancer charity or back to the team so they can have a better season. We structure all those deals from the get-go, and then we do everything on our side we can to help promote through our channels.
it's great what you guys are doing over there. Love it. Um,
Yeah, it's progressive, it's fun. It's more connected. There's no, I mean, nobody from Bauer is getting on any podcast to talk about, what's happening in the hockey world. I mean, I've been doing this since I bought the brand, and I welcome the opportunity to talk to hockey people anytime, whether 4 people listen to your show or 4 million people listen to your show. In my opinion, it's just about getting the word out, because everybody's transfixed and locked in the old way of thinking that it has to be this brand or that brand, this product or that product. I would welcome anybody to go out and test our stick against what they're using now. You'll see the difference. And then from a custom standpoint, I mean, you can't get custom like we offer from other brands. It doesn't happen. And then even some of the jersey companies, well, they don't have sticks. They don't have, tape, laces, wax. They're not showing up at events with biosteel and sparks, and they don't, it's just, we're just a different animal. We're just a different animal.
you guys definitely are, and I'm seeing it like start to trend more than anything, like on social media. Like the social media presence is crazy. Comparing I mean coming together with like the Hockey House podcast and all those other things like club hockey. I'm seeing it trend like crazy.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and we're really lucky to have Ryan Wynn too, as our marketing director, and really in a lot of ways the face and voice of the brand. He's got a gift, and he bleeds green. He believes in what we're doing. He's the embodiment of everything that we are. So in a lot of ways he's the perfect addition, and he's also speaks directly to the demographic. I mean, he's the same age as a lot of the players, or a few years older. He's been there, he's done that, he understands the industry. He's a incredible hockey player in his own right. So I mean, we couldn't really ask for a better partner there.
Yeah, it really takes one person to go all in, and then boom, you're here.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And our whole staff is that way. I mean, we've got the most committed staff I could ever ask for. As I said, we've continued to invest in the customer experience, and I think that's important to no end. I mean, I want the people that buy from us to have more updates on where their stuff is. I want them to have opportunity to get our sticks at exclusive pricing, access event support or marketing support or whatever is needed. Like, just, we're a partner, and we're always looking for the center point with whomever we work with. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's the value set of like what we bring and what we always try to bring to the table when somebody entertains working with us.
All right, so we talked a little bit about your business, but let's go back into time a little bit and talk about your hockey career, because that's what we do on the Beer League Beauties. It's essentially asking about your whole hockey journey. Um, so we'll start off with Michigan Tech. So you played all 4 years there. Um, can you tell us about your favorite year at Michigan Tech? Was it your senior year or your freshman year? Which one was it?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's all connected. That's the truth of the matter. And I wouldn't have got to the senior year if I didn't have the freshman year and everything I learned that year. I went into that experience pretty green. I didn't have a million options. I'll be frank. Like, I took a partial scholarship, way up in northern Michigan to go play hockey, and it ended up being the greatest experience of my life in a lot of ways. Went in there and figured out how to play the game on big ice, chasing little firecrackers around the ice for 4 years. Definitely helped me, especially being a big player, and learning your angles is so important on Olympic sheets too. And then just sort of going through that part of the process really equipped me for the senior year. I mean, I was never drafted to the NHL, and then I had 14 NHL teams offer me the maximum to sign after my last game at Tech. I mean, it went from having $6 in my bank account to, like, just complete, like, dream come true. And the NHL progression was very much the same way. Went into San Jose and made a splash early on, but really didn't come into my own probably until my fifth or sixth year in the league. Like it took me a while to get my groove, and then once I did, it kind of stuck, and I played as a 1-2 defenseman for many years, and played over 30 minutes a night for a long time, and then in the twilight of my career, I got a chance to go to Anaheim and go play with Getzlaff and Perry and Solane and Koivu, and just incredible, like, and iconic people and players, and then from there got sent up to Edmonton and finished my career there, and got to be around all those first rounders and be part of that youth movement there, and that was an incredible experience. So like at the end of it all, it ended up being 16 years, and it's hard to believe. It seemed like every year was a fight, and I did whatever I needed to do to stick around and get ice time, and find a way to get another contract. And so in a lot of ways, like, those are some of the attributes I like to think are in Verbero, and that my team has. We have that kind of fight. We have that kind of perseverance to just continue to like reinvent ourselves and figure out, how to make today a better today, and tomorrow put it in tomorrow, be mindful of tomorrow and utilize everything you learned from yesterday, so to speak. So I think we do that now here at Verbero, and I could only have done that if I'd had my hockey experience. So now I skate. I'm really fortunate here in Franklin, Tennessee. There's a guy up the road that has a private rink on his property, and we have a skate there with some musicians and ex NHLers, and some of my staff gets to skate, and that's what I do now for hockey, to stay in touch. It's a pretty casual skate. I'm not looking to block any shots or get my hands whacked when I go by, or have some hero try to start a scrap with me because he's got something to prove because he got bullied in high school. It's not my that's not my jam by any means. I'm just out there to enjoy myself and keep moving, and try to keep burning some calories so I can keep eating the way I did when I was playing, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. So the Kentucky Thoroughblades, Kentucky guy, I had no clue until I looked at your elite prospects. I had no clue what that team was, and then I did a little research. So you played for them. What was that like, playing for that team?
That was really cool. I mean, obviously I'd signed with the San Jose Sharks, which was a big honor. And at that time in the late '90s, like that team was no joke. I mean, they had, Owen Nolan was the captain, and they had some really iconic players. Gary Suter, and Brian Marchment was there, rest his soul, and we had Earl Sutter as a coach, and Bernie Nichols was there when I got there. Like, just some really iconic people, and it was stacked with veterans. And at that time, in the NHL, veterans had the right, and they had the authority to stick around, and to be a young player and play in the NHL at that time was not given like it is today. So you had to earn it. And part of that was spending time in the minors. And Kentucky was a long way from San Jose, California, but when I went there, we had Nick Fotiu and Roy Somner as coaches. It was an incredible coaching staff. Rupp Arena was a pretty fun place to play hockey. The fans really liked the Thoroughblades there. It was a great place to play, and so from a development standpoint, it was awesome. And there were a lot of amazing recruits as part of that team too. Like, just incredible players that were up and coming that I got to play with there. And but at the same time, thankfully, I didn't play too many games. I think I only played 23 games total over 2 years or something like that in the minors. So I got to spend the bulk of my time in the NHL from the start. But it was an awesome experience. I live in Tennessee now, and in large part it's because I fell in love with the South, and living in Lexington for a while there was definitely part of the introduction there for me. And Southern people are some special people, as I'm sure and good value set, good Christian values, and definitely love their sports.
Yeah, that's the one thing that was shocking for me, is how many people are Christian and religious down here. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So coming from the so you started off right at the Kentucky Thoroughblades. And then so let's talk about your first NHL game. Do you remember that and what it felt like? Like what were your emotions playing in your first game?
Yeah, so interestingly, my first year, the Sharks and the Calgary Flames went to Japan and played in a swimming pool, like literally in a swimming pool in Japan. And I was the only player on the two teams that didn't play. And I'm thankful for it because I didn't, in hindsight, I wouldn't have wanted to play my first NHL game in a swimming pool. The ice was terrible. It was really a strange experience in general. But I didn't play that much at the start of the year. I think I didn't play probably till 4 or 5 or 6 games into the season. And then I got to play in Philadelphia. And this is during the Darian Hatcher era. They had Dan McGillis, and like it was all about big, tough, strong, so I was tailor-made, in that time to play that style. And got to go into Philly where they had a lot of, Eric Lindros was there and John LeClaire and, Michael Renberg and all the team was stacked, and they had, they were a powerhouse at that time and tough as nails. And so I got to go in there and play, and I went and just took it on. I was fired up. Was full of piss and vinegar, and I think I played over 23 minutes that first game and played real well. And that was, I think, the point where I really realized to myself that, hey, I can do this and I can make an impact at this level. I really got a sense to see it. Preseason was good, but when you get a chance to roll at it with a team that's a perennial and Stanley Cup contender and go in and you can actually like make a difference on the ice, you start to build that confidence. So it's a game I'll never forget. I mean, I can remember the smell, I can remember the sounds, I can remember how I felt. I mean, it's like yesterday. I'm in the locker room in my mind getting ready for that game. I can still picture Luke Richardson chasing me around on the ice because I was being rough on some of their players, and he was telling me to calm down, and like they didn't want to fight me, he's like, he could probably tell I was ready for action, so it's like I was ready to rumble, no doubt.
That's the stuff that I like to hear, like the small little details of
Yeah.
the game, because you don't hear about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, I could stay on here for probably 10 hours and tell you a million stories. That it was such a gift to get an opportunity to do what I did. I feel so honored by it. I really do. It's every kid who ever played the game, it's his dream, and I got to live it for a really long time and do it in 7 different NHL cities, and it was a real blessing. I tell you.
All right, so the NHL lockout year. Can you tell us about that year and what you did?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I knew there was going to be a lockout. I had a sense that it was going to go a while. So at the time, my good friend Randy Robitaille I think he'd already been a year or two in Zurich in the A League in Switzerland. And I had said, Roby, what opportunities are there for me? I said, I don't even care if I play in the A League or the B League. Like, I want to stay in shape. I want to go have an experience. Like, what can you help me do? So he said, well, why don't you fly over here? So the team paid to fly me over. I went and checked stuff out. And they offered me a contract. So I went and played in Zurich. I played a combination of games for both the A and B League. And I had a great time. Honestly, it was in retrospect, it was we made lemonade out of lemons, and it was a raw deal with the lockout and stuff like that. But it's an unforgettable experience playing over there. And the arenas aren't massive, but they pack the house. Every city like loves their team. They chant and sing songs. They throw beer in my face when I go off the ice, chuck batteries at me like this. It was like I don't know. It's hard to explain. It was like kind of like roller derby meets European soccer meets hockey. Like it was pretty interesting, and the skill level over there, the players are all very skilled, and there were plenty of NHLers playing. Rick Nash and Joe Thornton were on the Davos team, and there were all kinds of NHLers immersed throughout the league. It was maybe the most exciting time for the Swiss league to have had, and I was really happy to be part of it.
Yeah, crazy. It's actually crazy how like the European crowds are so different from the American crowds.
Yeah, they're having a great time. They're having a great time. I'm not even sure if they sell booze at the games. I think they're just like naturally crazy. They're like frothing at the mouth. They're so loyal to their teams and they hate every visiting team. So like when you come in and then the Zurich fan club, booster club, whatever, they go in, and so there's like hundreds or thousands of like Zurich players that go in, Zurich fans that go into each of the games. So there's like these rivalries in the stands, and it's just it's kind of an electric environment. It really is. It's a lot of fun. And they definitely do it right over there.
You do. All right. So you're definitely a defenseman, a defensive defenseman back in the day. But I usually like to ask this question to every single player. Um, so can you tell us about your favorite goal in the NHL? Um, definitely you've had a lot of them, but can you tell us the environment that you were in and your favorite NHL goal?
Yeah, there was when a year in Atlanta, we were and we'd fought hard. I mean, when I first got there, we were one of the worst teams in the league, and we fought back to become a leader, actually a leader. We won the Southeast Division the year that Atlanta made the playoffs for the first time, and I can remember a goal that I had scored. It was a shorthanded goal, and I joined the play, and I don't remember who passed me. I beat the defenseman out wide and pulled it across and tucked it top shelf over Olaf Kolzig's shoulder. And I remember just the feeling of scoring that goal, and like everything was so important that time of year, and we were getting ready to go to playoffs, and that was a big one. And another goal I remember is the year I was in New York with the Islanders, and I got traded to Ottawa at the deadline. They weren't planning on re-signing me, and I'd had a great year that year, and I led the league in block shots and hits that year. And I went into Ottawa and got to play with Eric Carlson as my defense partner, and I scored a pretty nice goal there in the slot from Daniel Alfredson, and just felt so cool to be in Canada and back, really close to where I grew up, and that people love hockey so much, and they appreciate I think their players a lot. And so to be there and have my family was at that game, and just wearing that red Senators jersey and the fans going bananas and everybody is super excited. We were going to the playoffs that year too, and it was just really an electric environment. I'll never forget it.
Unreal. Yeah, so I feel like you were a lot like Cronwall. I feel like you would line them up at the blue line. Um, did where did you get that from? Like how did you know like when to step up on a guy? And
I always looked for it, when I was in college at Tech, and everybody wore a cage, obviously, but I sort of developed that, and I loved at that time, as a defenseman, especially a big defenseman, you were rewarded well if you were physical, and I wanted to be that player, so I developed it in college. I had a lot of great hits like in my senior season. And then once I went into the NHL, it became abundantly clear to me that if you did that well, they paid real well for it. And then when I went to San Jose, Brian Marchment was there, and Mush was, Mush had a long career, and if you looked at him skill wise, this, that, or the other, like you would be like, how is this guy, a defenseman in the NHL for as long as he was? But he did everything you needed to do to be a great defenseman, and then on top of that, he put the fear of God into the opponent, because at any moment, Mush would be coming up through the neutral zone, and he'd hit you to hurt you. And at that time, like that was part of the game, to hit to hurt. And I just put that in as part of my style of play, because I wanted opponents to know when I was on the ice, and I wanted to be paid for that. And so it really just became a part of the DNA of the way that I played the game, to hit hard and hit to hurt and send a message. And, a lot of years I was playing against other teams' top lines, every single time Alex Ovechkin was put on the ice, or Vinny Lecavalier, Marty St. Louis, those guys, when we were in the Southeast Division in Atlanta, I'd go over the boards, and that was like 5, 6 years of that, playing against those guys every shift. So any chance I got to take a crack at them, I was going to take a crack at them. And, that was my way of fighting back. I mean, they had plenty of weapons, so I had to make sure my arsenal was full as well.
Fucking right. I love the hit compilations. Those are unreal to watch.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I love the great hit almost more than a goal. To be honest with you, if I get a guy in the neutral zone with his head down, it's like as if you chomping at the bit. I could almost watch it happen at the time in slow mo. It was happened very fast, and back then I was 265 pounds and I had a 35-inch vertical jump, and I mean I could go from backwards to forwards in a millisecond, and I always look for that back checker to be like giving back pressure, and invariably the guy put his head down, and the second he put his head down and check where the puck was, I would pivot and come in like backwards to sideways and just lay him out. I was like, it was my patent bee sting move.
Best move in the game.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Well, Andy, it was a pleasure to have you on here. I learned a lot from you. Yeah, just thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, you got it anytime.
All righty. Well, we're signing off. You're officially a beer league beauty. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Take care. I'll see you soon.
All right, man. See ya.
All right, brother. See ya.